Hello everyone, this is G and I'm back with the second video of the night, which I wasn't actually anticipating on making, but I saw this clip. I actually have to thank Just Some Guy, because I was scrolling through my Twitter feed and he did a retweet of this, making a comment about how Adams, as a Democrat, was using a political talking point. He was talking about how the party switched, or, and I think in his opinion, how the party switch didn't happen, right? And whatnot, right? That's referencing a different political thing, but it was through his retweet or his quote tweet, I should say, that I came across this clip, right, in which New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who's a Democrat, right, says that he's gonna try to get drill rap videos off of social media, right? Because of their objectionable, in particular, violent content. I just did a video earlier talking about the hypocrisy of Sony censoring the video game Martha is Dead, given that they had published just equally violent or more violent video games throughout their history. So I will be again sort of tackling a similar theme of hypocrisy when it comes to violence, in particular with Mr. Eric Adams, because to my knowledge, Eric Adams is probably around 40 something, 50 years old, if I had to hazard a guess, right? I don't know his exact age off the top of my head, but obviously this is not a man in his 20s or even in his 30s anymore. And I don't bring that up to be ageist. But age is going to be a factor here, because to me, part of the hypocrisy, and once I play the clip and then comment on it, is the fact that he's basically, in theory, fundamentally, complaining about the violence, right, in this media he wants to ban. And he doesn't seem to realize or remember that he was listening to similarly violent content when he was a younger man in the 80s and 90s, right? And I want to be clear, I'm not saying he has to like new styles of rap or new rappers or anything like that. Nor does he have to allow his son to listen to it. Right? As a parent, you have the right to set the rules as to what your children can and cannot listen to, at least in your presence, right? But for him to try to get this banned from social media because now 30 some years later, right, he's offended when you know damn good and well he was listening to the 90s or 80s version of the same damn thing, right? That, to me, that's the hypocrisy. It's like if you were listening to Biggie and Tupac and all them back in the day, don't complain about this now because it offends you, or you're looking to gain votes. Is basically what this is about. Because I'm certain if you took his phone, you're gonna probably find secular music after secular music after secular music. Probably find plenty of old school rap jams that are just as violent and obscene and profane as anything out today. Where do you think these rappers learn it from? These rappers learned from Eminem. Eminem learned from Tupac and Rakim and all this other stuff. So please stop with the hypocrisy. Stop with the hypocrisy. Stop trying to be like that church lady, right? Who like in her middle age acts all pious but never ever ever admits to how she was wild and crazy in her 20s, right? So anyway, as I usually do, I'm gonna play the clip without comment, and then I'll play it again and comment on it. But again, it's the hypocrisy of it all that infuriates me, and there's nothing more hypocritical than a politician, regardless of the party that they're a part of or the color of their skin.
And I had no idea what drill rapping was, but I called my son and he sent me some videos, and it is alarming. And we are going to pull together the social media companies and sit down with them and state that you have a civic and corporate responsibility. You know, I mean, we pulled Trump off Twitter because of what he was spewing. Yet we are allowing music, displaying of guns, violence. We're allowing it to stay on these sites because look at the victims. We're bringing them in. We're going to show exactly what is being displayed, and we are alarmed by it. We are alarmed by the use of social media to really over-proliferate this violence in communities.
All right, so that's what he had to say.
And I had no.
Right, that's what he had to say. Right, so typical politician's answer. He wants to blame the media and not himself, right, or not the previous administration, right, or not the various policies or social ills, social issues that contribute to crime and violence and all that. It's always blame the media. The media is always the problem. So I'm gonna play this again and then give my own take on it.
No idea what drill rapping was, but I call.
Because you're an old man. You don't know what drill rapping is because, like me, you are old. You don't keep up with this stuff anymore because it's not the artists you grew up with. Just admit it.
My son, and he sent me some videos, and it is alarming.
He sent you some videos, just like you were no doubt showing videos to your parents back when MTV still played music videos.
And we are going to pull together the social media companies and sit down with them and state.
We are going to meet with MTV to pull songs like Cop Killer because they are offensive to police officers. Sound familiar, Eric? Mr. Former Cop? Somebody who spent a good chunk of his life fighting crime, dealing with criminals, being surrounded by guns, both people who were his allies, right, fellow cops, and his enemies, right, the criminals. You literally lived a life swathed in violence and you're concerned about a 4-minute song. Man, please. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Eric.
That you have a civic and corporate responsibility.
Civic? No. They have absolutely no civic or moral responsibility. This is secular entertainment. If you want praise music, listen to channels that play praise music. But they certainly do have a corporate responsibility to make as much money as they can, right? Maximize profits, minimize costs. That is the ultimate goal of any and every business. More importantly, stop acting as if you are so shocked. You know damn good and well you were listening to Mobb Deep, Shook Ones, okay? I'm from the area where they're talking about, all right? You know damn good and well you were listening to that. You know damn good and well you were listening to Biggie. Okay? You were listening to LL Cool J. You were listening to Tupac and Dre and Snoop and NWA and Ice-T, Cop Killer and all that, right? You were listening to Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim and Missy Elliott and all of them. You know you were. Okay? But the thing is that you were a young man then. So you didn't mind then, right? Now you're a politician. You have to look clean and respectable. You're a father. I understand all that. But the most respectable thing you can do and be right now is honest. Because you know damn good and well the same type of media was around when you were in your 20s. Okay? And to act like you're suddenly offended now is just plain hypocritical. I'm not saying you have to like it. But for you to try to get it banned, just like your parents and their generation tried to get it banned, is absolutely hypocritical.
You know, I mean, we pulled Trump off Twitter.
Yes, you pulled Trump off Twitter because that was purely political. The thing is that Trump was never supposed to win. Okay, let's be honest. Politics are all a farce. It's a farce, it's a political theater, it's a political football. It is all a joke. Adams doesn't actually care about New York City. The president doesn't actually care about the United States. None of them actually care about anything but themselves. Maybe you have a few who are honest-hearted, but the vast majority of them are not. It's all performative. This is performative tripe. Okay, the difference is that Trump was never supposed to win. Run, sure, right? He's a rich man. He can run whatever he wants. but he wasn't supposed to win. That was the one conclusion no one ever thought, Republican, Democrat, or any other party, ever thought was going to happen, was that he was going to win. And so pulling him off Twitter was purely political, because if he doesn't have Twitter, right? If he doesn't have social media, excuse me. All right, now that was a phone call that went a little longer than I anticipated, and I totally forgot what I was ranting about or where I was. I'm just gonna play the video and just respond to the next 30 seconds or so, whatever this is. But again, my main issue is the blatant hypocrisy of what Adam says he wants to do.
Because of what he was spewing. Yet we are allowing music, displaying of guns, violence.
Just like there was a display of guns and violence and sex in media and in music videos and in songs and in TV back in the 80s and the 90s. Stop acting as if you're suddenly surprised by all this. Okay, we already had this play out in the Senate back in the 80s, right? We had John Denver, and you had Ozzy Osbourne and Dee Snider and all these other types, going up against, what was it, the PMRC or something to that effect, right? That's where the whole explicit content label on records comes from, right? And I thought, I know a lot of people disagreed with it at the time, and I can see why, but I thought that was a good compromise, right? Because it's just a warning label. It just says, hey, there's explicit content in this album. It did not force the artist to not be profane or explicit. It just told the consumer, this is the type of content you can expect to find in this album. So me personally, um, I didn't have an issue with that. Or even when they started using those type of content warning labels for like TV shows, right? Taking from the movies and all that, right? Rated E, Y7, TV 14, TVMA, and all that. I never had an issue with those, because to me those were just content labels, just saying, hey, this is a type of content you can expect with this rating. To me, that was informing the viewer, and I'm okay with that. I know some people aren't, but me personally, I'm okay with that. I'd like to know, to have some idea of what I'm getting into, right? If I'm going to watch something. But there's a difference between content labels, right? Uh, uh, not rankings, ratings, right? Move ratings for like movies or video games or TV shows and all that. Content ratings, or right, and then trying to get stuff banned, just like Tipper Gore was trying to do back in the 80s, and now he wants to try to do this 30 some, nearly 40 years later. Get these banned off of social media. These social media companies have a corporate, and they have a social obligation. No, they don't. No, they don't. Not at all. You're just being a hypocrite.
We're allowing it to stay on these sites because look at the victims.
What victims? What victims? You don't mention the name of one victim in this clip. What victims? You don't show one picture in a nearly 1 minute clip. You can fit a lot into a 1 minute clip. Look at TikTok. Okay, you don't show a damn thing. What victims? I read a lot of stuff about crime and true crime and all this other stuff, and in all the true crime stuff and all of the depraved real world crimes I have read about, I've yet to come across one who said, you know what, I was inspired, by that song by, Eminem, where he puts, the crazy fan trunk and he drives and all this other stuff, right? Or remember that scene in the Guns N' Roses video for November Rain, I think it was, where like Slash is in the car and he drives it over the ledge, right? It goes over the cliff and then he's standing there playing this guitar solo and all this other stuff. I have yet to come across, right, someone saying that was my inspiration for doing this horrendous thing, MTV. Or in the modern day, social media. Twitter made me do it. YouTube made me do it. Right? You can learn a lot from social media. Usually stuff that you never really needed to know. But I have yet to come across someone who said, "Hey, the internet made me kill this person." Stop deflecting. Stop blaming the entertainment. Again, you don't have to like it. I don't like rap because most of it is very off-putting to me, right? But I'm not going to try to get Little Nas or Little Baby or Little this or Little that or Eminem or Fabulous or anybody else um, taken off the radio just because, or taken off social media, I should say, just because I don't want to hear it. Guess what? I just don't listen. That's all you need to do. Don't listen. Don't let your kids listen to it as much as you can have a say in that. But stop acting like you weren't doing what your son is doing right now when you were a younger man.
We're bringing them in. We're going to show exactly what is being displayed, and we are alarmed by it. We are alarmed by.
Yes, so is every moral guardian. The video games are too violent, the songs are too violent, the TV shows are too violent, the movies are too violent. Don't like, don't watch. No one's forcing you to engage with this stuff. Okay? No one's forcing you to engage with it. You are just being an oppressive hypocrite. What? Come on. Okay, I'm gonna pause this to see if I can fix it. Sorry, guys. Alright, let's see if it works now.
Exactly what is being displayed, and we are alarmed by it. We are alarmed by the use of social media to really over proliferate this violence in communities.
If you are truly concerned about social media and its impact on violence in communities, then maybe you should do things and address things like revenge porn or address things like cyberbullying, right? Maybe you should address those things because I know it's not exactly 100% related, but if he's truly concerned.
And I had no idea what drill rapping was, but I called my son, and
No, as I was saying, a few years ago, an adult film star, porn star, whose performer name was August Ames, took her own life. She was 23 years old. She took her own life after being bullied by people in her own industry because she had expressed publicly discomfort with doing a scene with a male performer who was bisexual, if I remember the story correctly. Now, I'm not saying that you have to agree with what she did for a living. Many don't, understandably so. But she had a life. She had a husband. She was 23. There's so much that she could have done with her life had she not taken it. But sadly, due to the bullying and other factors, naturally, but the bullying was the last straw, and she decided to take herself out of this world for good. because of that. So if Eric Adams truly gives a damn about the mental health, right, of youth on social media, he should put together a task force to address those type of things. Because I have yet to hear of a kid who took their own life because some stupid song on social media or some stupid TikTok trend told them to. You know what usually causes them to do something like that or to act out violently against themselves and others? Being ostracized by society, being picked on, being bullied, right? Now, for all of the offensive content I've ever consumed in life, and I've consumed plenty of it in various formats, I can't think of one that ever said, "Hey, bullying is cool and awesome. You should do it all the time." No, no. As I've said several times throughout the video, he doesn't have to like it. He doesn't have to allow his son to listen to it. But he has absolutely no right to try to take it away, take it off of social media, and therefore remove everybody's ability to access it. That is not his place. That is not why he was elected mayor. Right? That's not why. He has every right to, I have every right to say, this media is not for me. I'm not going to engage in it. Right? As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord and not engage in this stuff. Okay, that's fine. What is not fine is to say, well, I am mayor now, and I shall decide what the peasants of New York City have access to when it comes to the international sensation that is social media. You have no right to do that, sir. You have no proof. You did not demonstrate one bit of proof throughout this minute clip of the supposed harm it causes. As I've said before, and I'll say again, there is a difference between something personally offending you or not being to your taste, right, and something sincerely being harmful. You have a right to remove things that are harmful. But if you're not going to remove cigarettes, right? If you're not going to remove cigarettes and bars and other things that are sincerely harmful, right? And even then, those things have been legal for a long time. So guess what? If you did remove them, guess what happens? Prohibition happens all over again. So please, let's stop with the faux moral crusade. If you truly care about the city, if you truly care about the kids, you will actually try to address the real social issues that lead to negative things like crime, violence, poverty, lack of safety. If you actually cared, you would actually either amend or ideally remove foolish COVID mandates that vilify someone like me for being unvaccinated despite being healthy. Okay? That's what you would do, Mayor Adams, if you actually gave a damn about the city. You would do things to improve the city. You would do things to bring citizens together. You wouldn't be attacking drill rap videos, trying to make it look like you're actually trying to do something. You ain't doing a damn thing but wasting breath. And I've wasted nearly 25 minutes of my own breath yelling at an image of you. So anyway, that's the video. Please let me know what you think, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day night wherever you are.